Very good question. So there's a verse in the Quran which commands both men and women to lower their gaze. Again, you look at it, we can look at it in the literal sense, and we can also look at it in the metaphorical sense. Both are correct. And it depends on the person themselves. The Quran is kind of custom fit. You buy a shirt from like Kohl's or like Macy's or TJ Maxx, wherever you were shopping, right? It doesn't fit you perfectly, right? Sizes are within ranges. When you go get a shirt custom fit, that's like you. That fits you perfectly. So the Quran, the verses allow to be general fit or custom fit, depending on how you want to read them. So this verse which says lower your gaze, the men and women should lower their gaze for one another and maintain their modesty. It can mean a couple things. First of all, lowering your gaze was a metaphor in Islamic times as being a modest person and not looking directly at someone. In fact, even up until recently, in pre-postmodern times, which is also known as pre-modern times, in America, it was disrespectful to look at someone in the face, especially when they were of higher rank than you. And so now, with this kind of like new age culture, where if you don't look at someone in the face, it's disrespectful, we have to look at it and adapt. Remember, al-adatu muhakkama. So, to get to the point of your question, you can take it literally depending on your heart and who you are. If you know you're someone who has a real bad issue staring at people in a lustful way, then take it literally. Then lower your gaze. You should not look, right? But if you know that you're someone who can look or who can dodge that info or that inclination in your heart to be sinful, then you can look at in a modest way, right? And so it's kind of, you have to take it and you have to be honest with yourself. Part of being a successful faith practitioner is being honest with yourself. When people lie to themselves about their own state and where they are, that's when the religion no longer makes sense. That's when it kind of falls apart. Because you're like, it's not relevant to me. But when we can be honest with ourselves, then we start to see the relevance and the growth that we develop in our relationship with the divine. So, yeah, I hope that helps. Sorry. Any others? We got about 5 minutes left.
Same aspect.
Okay.
So, just for example, if I'm looking, it's almost like a positive aspect of myself. So those are the things that I'm looking at, I'm interested in. Like,
Yeah.
if my heart is good or
Yeah.
good. Those are my things that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
That is going to be the
Yeah, see, part of living in America is that we do live in a very hypersexualized culture. That everyone thinks that everyone is into them. Right? I mean, everyone really believes that everyone likes them. Right? It's like I open a door for a girl, she's like, he definitely wants me. I'm like, no, I don't. Right? I want you to leave, that's why I'm opening the door for you. Right? So there's two answers to this question. Number one is that we have to get out of that. Like, don't look at other human beings as opportunities. They're human beings. Especially in the Muslim community. Like, not every single girl is a potential wife. Right? Like respect yourself a little bit more. Have some dignity. Like, don't look at every person with that eye. That's number one. I'm not saying you, I'm saying in general, because you're mentioning, well, the girl might think that I'm into her. It's like, she needs to get real, right? And we all need to get real, to be honest with you. The second part of that is that we do have to respect people's personal comfort zones. And if someone is used to a certain kind of interaction, then we shouldn't force our belief on them. And that's not just within the religion, that's outside of it. That's part of being an earthling. Part of being on this earth is to respect people's comfort zones and not to enforce things on them that they don't feel comfortable with. And so the first part is we got to get over ourselves. But the second part is we also have to respect other people and their selves. Cool. I feel like I'm on The View right now. It's like a big, inspiring person. Okay. Anyway, I have time for one last question. Who will it be? You in the back, you seem like you want to ask something. No, you don't. No, you don't? You want to ask something?
I ask again.
Let's give one more person. Yes.
Can you explain more about the how you said the Islamic dating type thing?
God. I don't know what specifics. I mean.
So how would you go about it for your kids? How would you want your kids?
Oh, okay, very interesting. Oh. I don't know. He's like, so the whole Islamic dating concept that we talked about, the modest dating, to get to know one another, kind of like, let's call it a courting. Let's call it that, courtship, right? Back in the 1700s. How would I expect my kids? Well, I'm going to be a very different parent. I hope to God I am, and that I'm going to try to teach my kids right and wrong very early, and then let them kind of live their life, not be shackling them. God willing, inshallah. But I think that generally speaking, just being very, very open and communicable about the parameters. I think a lot of where, not just within the Muslim community, but in any relationship, communication is kind of where the relationship will break down. When communication is not clearly given or taken, and we're not sure where the walls are, where the parameters and the rules are, that's when people transgress bounds and make other people feel uncomfortable or hurt. And so as a parent, I think I would just communicate very openly, like, these are the things that are allowed in faith, and these are the things that are not allowed in faith. And then also give them some advice like, yes, some things might be permissible in Islam, but if you do them, people will judge you, right? Because we have this whole concept of like, I don't care if I don't care, don't judge me. Only God can, and it's true, only God can judge you. But realize that you're a human being, you're part of a greater social context, and that may or may not affect your future, right? So I would give them kind of like the right and the wrong, and then some advice, and then Bismillah, go for it. It's all you.
What about the idea of a chaperone?
Chaperone. I think it depends. It depends a lot on like the kid themselves. Like one thing about being a youth minister is that you realize that no two young people are the same. When I say youth minister, I have like 14-year-olds to like 45 years old, right? Because like people who are just older feel comfortable with me, I guess. So no two people are the same at all. And so one of my kids, future, I don't have any kids yet, but one of my future kids, inshallah, may need a chaperone. Right, he got like as much game as I had. One of my other kids might be like just very, very self-regulating, self-governing, and understand his or her limits, and so very good questions though. It's important. It's good to ask the speaker to think about their own life too, I think. Cool. Any last-minute questions before we wrap up? Yes.
Were you raised Muslim?
I was raised Muslim. My father converted. He's a Catholic. He was a Catholic. He converted to Islam. So I'm the son of a Catholic. I'm the son of a Catholic. My mother's Egyptian. So we have, corned beef on St. Patrick's Day. And we have, kushari for that and steak and Eid. So we kind of, we mix it up a little bit. Yeah. Cool. I want to thank you all very much for inviting me. Coming back to Chicago is always a treat because I'm born and raised, and I love. How many are from Chicago? Like, not maybe the city, but the suburb even. That skyline, you can leave Chicago, but that skyline will never leave you, no matter where you go. It's a place that I fell in love with, and every time I see it, every time I land in Chicago, my heart just like cringes because I dread leaving this beautiful place. And so I want to thank you all for giving me the opportunity to come visit again, and I hope that I can join your beautiful presence and be honored with your presence in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you again, brother. That was a really beautiful speech. Before we wrap up, I just wanted to repeat again about Wear a Hijab Day. On Thursday, we will be having a booth set up, and girls, you can pick up a free headscarf from between 12 to 4, I believe. So just come by, grab a scarf, and be sure to come to the discussion hall afterwards at 8:30 p.m. at the Women's Resource Center. So thank you again for coming.